Okay, the second session. I'll call the presentation participant name one by one. Mrs. Heroda, number participant 43. Mrs. Yulida, Mr. Miftahuzzubaidi, Mrs. Novian Mahayu, Mrs. Risfina, Mr. Achmad Wahdi, Mrs. Dr. Kiki Anis Khoirin, let's begin the presentation session, second session. The first turn will be given to the first presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, the honorable for attending this international conference, moderator, and all participants. My name is Yulida from Public Health Center Singosari, Malang. I would like of paper with little analysis of the infant assistance by midwife on journalism, motivation, and attitude to make care of LBW care independently, case in Singosari Public Health Center Malang. Next, background. Infant mortality rate is the main status. LBW is one of the causes of infant death. In Indonesia, the prevalence rate was 10.2%, where in Java it was 11.2%. Next. Next, please. Next, design. Design experimental method, control group pretest process design, Venus and time, located in the County Health Center, Khoirin, Singosari, Malang, East Java, from February to March 2020. Subject, treaty, mother of LBW, 50 mother of the control group, and 15 mother as the intervention group. Next, dependent variable, knowledge, motivation and attitude of mother to conduct LBW care independently. Independent variable, the assistance by midwife, analysis, univariate descriptive static, bivariate cross-step between observation variables and different between the intervention and the control group. Next. Result. Cannot independent test on the value of the arithmetic greater than the table and with significant values of less than alpha, then the design is the accepted by E. Motivation. Men Whitney saw the values of the arithmetic greater than the table and weight and significant values of less than alpha. The 10 division is to accept HI. Attitude. Men Whitney saw the values of the arithmetic greater than the table and weight of significant values of less than alpha. The division as to accept HI. Implicit knowledge of mother will motivate mother internally the care of for LBW independently. In addition, good motivation in tracking LBW independently is an internal factor that can improve good attitude and caring for LBW. Next, conclusion. Number 1, Miftahuzzubaidi asistensi efek penelus of mother to care LBW independently. Number 2, Miftahuzzubaidi asistensi efek motivation of mother to care LBW independently. Number 3, Miftahuzzubaidi asistensi efek attitude of mother to care LBW independently. Next, dokumentasi. Dokumentasi asistensi by Miftahuzzubaidi to make care of LBW care independently. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thanks for presenting Mrs. Yulida. And the third presenter is Mr. Miftahuzzubaidi for presenting effectiveness of balanced physical exercise and muscle strength about failed incident elderly in Rensing Raya Village, West Sakra District at Lombok Regency. And you have a 10 minutes to present, please, Mr. Miftahuzzubaidi.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, the honorable moderator and all participants. In this good opportunity, I will to presentation by my thesis by the title Effectiveness of Balanced Physical Exercise and Muscle Strength about fall incident elderly in Rensing Raya Village, West Sakra District, is Lombok Regency. Next, this is a background. Balance exercise is one of the exercise that can be applied to the elderly. This exercise is a physical activity that is done to improve the stability of the body by increasing muscle strength in the leg. The muscle strength is a driving force for movement in completing tasks and can reduce fall, especially for the elderly. A fall event is an event reported by a patient or witness who sees an incident resulting in a person suddenly laying, sitting, on the lower floor placed with or without loss of consciousness or injury. The next slide. The next slide. This is objective. The study aimed to determine the effectiveness of balance and strength physical exercise on the occurrence of jatuh in the elderly. Fall is a direct impact of impaired balance and muscle strength. This can be minimized by risk factor, namely age, physical activity, psychology disorder, the use of certain drug, and cardiovascular disease such as heart disease and orthostatic hypotension. The next slide, the material and method. The study, this type of research is quantitative with a quasi-experimental research design with a pre-test and post-test control group design approach. The sample technique used is non-probability sampling. Use purposive sampling with a sample of 34 respondents. The data analyze technique using parity test. The next slide. The result, the fall incident variable for the treatment group, the result obtained p-value 0.006, smaller than 0.05. It's meant that there is a significant effect observing given the treatment of physical exercise and muscle strength on the incident of fall in the elderly. In the control group, the result was p-value 0.018, smaller than 0.05. It's meant that there is a significant effect after being given another treatment, namely gymnastic in the elderly toward the event of fall in the elderly. The next slide. The last slide, conclusion. There is a balance and muscle strength is very effective in reduction the number of fall in the elderly, where the control group given elderly exercise also had the effect defines the reduce the incidence of fall in the elderly. In an effort to reduce the incidence of fall, the elderly can do physical exercise, balance, and muscle strength regularly. Okay, thank you. That's all my presentation today. Thank you for all participants. Good.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miftahuzzubaidi, for presenting effectiveness of balanced physical exercise and muscle strength about fail incident elderly in Rensing Raya Village, West Sakra District, as Lombok Regency.
Good morning, all participants. Now I will present my result of my research. The title is Analysis of Factors that Influence the Success of Mother Breastfeeding in Exclusive Breastfeeding in the Area of Conductivity in 2019. The background is exclusive breastfeeding is one of the concrete efforts to get good growth and development in infant. The Indonesian government through the Ministry of Health recommend mother to breastfeeding exclusive for 6 months. The Gondangki Health Center area is an area with a locus of stunting, which is comparable to the low achievement of exclusive breastfeeding, which is only 35% of the target. The purpose of this study was to determine the factor that influence the success of mother giving exclusive breastfeeding. Nggak kelihatan gambarnya. I design a quantitative analysis using cross-sectional design. Venue time. Venue time data collection was correct on 2 October until 10 October 2019. I researched in Gondang Legi, which consists of 7 villages. My population is 30-40 mothers who have babies aged 6 until 12 months in the working area of Gondang Legi Health Center. I use sample 77 respondents. Dependent analysis. I use dependent variable-nya exclusive breastfeeding. Independent variable, factor that influence the success of mother breastfeeding, it has 4 variables. This is economic factor, social culture factor, the level of mother knowledge, and the level of husband support. My analysis, data analysis, use the chi-square test to obtain meaningful risk factor at a confidence level of 0.05 using a logistic test. Data collection is done using a questionnaire. The result is influence directly simultaneous testing result obtained of significant value of 0.0000 mean that there are influence of the 4 variables on the success in breastfeeding exclusive. Indirect influence, the effect is 0.472% from the partial test result found that there are 2 significant variables, namely cultural custom and knowledge. Conclusion. The conclusion is an influence factor of cultural custom in the work area of Gondang Legi Health Center is very influential in the success mother breastfeeding in breastfeeding exclusive. Our job as health work is health promotion about the importance of breastfeeding exclusive the community. This is my documentation. Thank you for your attention.
This is Risfina Almeiga for presenting analysis factor the influence the success in exclusive breastfeeding in Gondang Legi Public Health Center. And the next presenter is Mrs. Novian. Mrs. Novian.
Sorry. Hello?
Yes, okay, Mr. Novian. For presenting
Yeah.
educational
Okay.
intervention in improving tuberculosis patient based on the theory of brain behavior. You have a 10 minutes to present. Please, Mr. Novian, time is yours.
Yes. Thank you. Would like to introduce myself. My name is Novian, and I'm from Universitas Kamarul Huda. And now I'm going to present my research about educational intervention in improving tuberculosis patient adherence based on theory of brain behavior. For the background, adherence for the problem, this research is adherence behavior of tuberculosis patient become the most crucial effect SFA success treatment, including adherence to compliance with such as prevention of transmissions, medication adherence, and nutritional compliance. And in Indonesia, sorry, can you hear my voice? Hello? Sorry?
Okay, Mister.
Yes?
Yes.
In Indonesia, health minister in Indonesia puts the TB disease as the first priority disease control. And next, and the objective of this research is the study aims to determine the effect of educational intervention based on theory of brain behavior in improving adherence of tuberculosis patient. And the variable in this study independent variable we use the educational intervention, and dependent is medication adherence. We measure using Morisky medication adherence scale and prevention of transmission, and number 2 dependent prevention of transmission and nutritional compliance was measured using nutritional questionnaire from Sukartini et al. And ATB is attitude toward behavior, SN is subjective norm, PBC is perceived behavior control, and intention were measured using questionnaire from ASEN. Next. And data from June to August 2020. This study was conducted on 108 this is a combination about SMS, short message system, for 2 days, for 2 months, and face-to-face nursing education, and we came out for five times for 2 months. Next. Research methodology, we use total sampling method, and we use quasi-experiment pre-post and control group were conducted in patients of pulmonary tuberculosis with positive acid fast basically. Respondent requirement was used total sampling method. Data collection was conducted from June to August 2020. This study was conducted by educational intervention that based on TPB in the treatment group for 2 months. There is combination of interactive nursing reminder to send reminder by SMS nursing education for 5 times. Next.
Okay, Mr. Novian, can you continue your presentation? Mr. Novian? Hello, Mr. Novian. The next presenter, Mr. Achmad Wahdi, for presenting the difference influence of health education demonstration and video method on knowledge, attitude, and ability of adolescent practice about the breast self-examination. And you have a 10 minutes to present. Please, Mr. Achmad Wahdi, time is yours.
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Achmad Wahdi. I am from Program Study Master of Applied Nursing, Nahdlatul Ulama University of Surabaya. I will presentation about my research. The title is The Different Influence of Health Education, Demonstration and Video Method and Knowledge, Attitude and Ability of Adolescent Practice about the breast examination. PPT-nya nggak keluar. Okay, I will presentation about my research. The title is The French Influence of Health Education, Demonstration and Video Method and Knowledge, Attitudes and Ability of Adolescent Practice about the breast self-examination. My background, breast self-examination is very important for women, and it would be better if science adolescents they have knowledge and practical skill about awareness. G-force. Breast self-examination is very important as adolescent is an yearly detection of breast cancer. My design, quasi experiment and subject. 325 respondents and sample 60 respondents. Demonstration group 30 video screening group 30. My independent variable had education, demonstration method, and video screening. Dependent variable, knowledge, attitudes, and ability of adolescent practice against brace self-examination. Analyze Wilcoxon and me. My research, first, the research showed the was in influence of education, demonstration, and video playbacks method on knowledge, attitudes, and practice ability with a value P 0.00. Second, there were differences in the influence of education, demonstration method, and video playback on knowledge, attitude, and practice abilities with p-value 0.001. Next. My conclusion, demonstration and video playback method can improve knowledge, attitudes, and practice ability to before being given treatment. So adolescent apprehension behavior change and expect health values to be will embedded health status to be good and finally then able the independent is health problems. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Achmad Wahdi, for presenting the different influence of health education, demonstration, and video method on knowledge, attitude, and ability of adolescent practice about the breast self-examination. And the next presenter is Mr. Heroda S from APTM M.Kes for presenting social network and social support in behavior to prevention of HIV/AIDS transmission. You have a 10 minutes to present, please, Mr. Heroda. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for my moderator. I will be presented my thesis about social networks and social support in behavior to prevention of HIV/AIDS transmission. Next slide. HIV/AIDS is a matter of global emergency. The government and community institute have made many breakthroughs to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS. Since the first HIV/AIDS case was discovered in Indonesia in 1987 in Bali, until now it has been implemented and developed a program of prevention and from of HIV/AIDS service that have been utilized by the community. Next. The purpose of this study is to analyze the behavior of HIV/AIDS transmission prevention coping resource of individual and community stigma based on the theory of social network behavior and social support. Next slide. Conceptual framework and research hypotheses like this method we have been look at that program. Next slide. Research method. Types of research. This type of research is quantitative research. This type of research is done by observing without giving treatment to the population, then analyze the influence of existing variable. Recent design. This research is analytic with cross-sectional approach. Research location and time. This research was educated in Buleleng Regency, which is a working area of the Buleleng Regency of it. Research read and analyze characters of age responded below 20. Sample is 48. The percent is 12. In 20 for 29, the sample is 75. An age of 30 and 39, the sample is 126. The age of sample of 40 to 49, the sample is 131. Next slide. Frequency distribution of independent variable and development variable. Low is the N is 145. The percentage is 38, and more of low is the N is 133. The percent is 32, and the high is N is 102. The percent is 28. Next slide. Social support distribution of respondent based on social support can be seen in the following table. Low is N is 185, and high is 190. Next. The conclusion is based on statistical tests of FDD result that the condition of social network and social support in Buleleng village is not optimal. It is recommended that assistance and guidance for health works and provide two cadres of peer support group on an ongoing basis in empowering and community to behave in preventing HIV/AIDS transmission. Next slide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Heroda, for presenting social network, social network and social support in behavior to prevention of HIV/AIDS
Yes, that's
transmission.
right.
Okay. Make sure read your question if any, because we have a 10 minutes for discuss. And Mr. Novian, can you continue your presentation? Hello, Mr. Novian. Mr. Novian, can you continue presentation? Okay, next presentator. Okay, the last presentator is Dr. Kiki Anis Khoirin. for presenting analysis of family support and quality of health service, the utilization of the VCT poly and complements of HIV/AIDS patient in undergoing the RAPI ARV Gambiran Hospital in Kediri City. And you have a 10 minutes for present, please. Mrs. Dr. Kiki Anis Khoirin, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present my presentation research. My name is Risfina Hayati. I am a dentist professional. The title of my thesis is Analysis of Family Support and Quality of Health Service, the utilization of VCT poly and compliance of HIV/AIDS patient in undergoing antiretroviral therapy or ARV in Gambiran Hospital City in Kediri City. Next. That is my abstract. And next, the background, my title in my thesis. There are two background. Number one is the stigma of discrimination of HIV sufferer. Number two is the number of patients of HIV sufferer in polyVCT Gambiran is 250 patients in month. And then my method research, random sampling with 155 respondents, but the real fact in my research with 109 respondents. So I make the method accidental sampling. And then my research method is I use PET analysis. So my discuss in my research there are 11 discussed in my research. Number one is family support of HIV/AIDS patient in underlying antiretroviral therapy ARV at Gambiran City, up to 51.4%. And number two, quality service of VCT poly, up to 51.4%. Number three is utilization of HIV/AIDS patient and VCT poly, up to 50.4%. Number four is HIV/AIDS patient compliant in underlying antiretroviral therapy or ARV at Gambiran City, up to 69.6%. And number five, the influence of family support again, the utilization of VCT poly at Gambiran Hospital is the less more 0.000. So HO is rejected. And number six, effect of service quality on the use of VCT poly at Gambiran Hospital City. 2 alpha value more or less than 0.000. And number seven, is the effect of family support on the appliance of HIV patient and underlying antiretroviral therapy at Gambiran City Hospital Kediri. Alpha value is 0.004, and number 8, the effect of service quality on the compliance of HIV sufferer with ARV treatment is alpha value of 0.007. And number 9, the effect of utilization on the compliance of a HIV patient and underlying antiretroviral therapy, and alpha value is 0.020. Number 10, the influence of family support through the use of VCT poly on compliance with HIV patient. It's 0.533. And the last, the influence of service quality through the use of VCT poly on compliance with HIV patient and underlying antiretroviral therapy is 0.582. So, what about conclusion? My research, there are 10 conclusions. Number 1, most respondents had sufficient family support in the category of 51.4%. Number 2, most respondents rate the quality of service in the category of 56 respondents sufficient, or 51.4%. Number 3, most respondents had medium category utilization, up to 50.5%. Number 4, most respondents were not compliant to undergo antiretroviral therapy, as many as 69.6%. Number 5, there is an influence of family support for the utilization of VCT poly at Gambiran City Hospital in Kediri. Number 6, there is an influence of service quality on the utilization of VCT poly at Gambiran City. Number 7, there is an influence of family support for the compliance of HIV sufferer with ARV therapy. Number 8, there is an effect of service quality on HIV sufferer undergoing ARV therapy. And number 9, there are effect of utilization on the compliance of HIV sufferer. Number 10, there is a significant influence of family support and service quality through the use of poly VCT. I think 3 aspects for advantage my research. Number 1, for the government, and for give more attention in reducing the number of HIV sufferer in the future. Number 2, to develop more facilities, facility which enable the HIV patient. And number 2, aspect for science, civil society, for motivation for HIV sufferer. For number 3 aspect, family support, we can make more motivation for undergoing ARV therapy. So that's all my presentation. Next.
Okay, Mrs. Wait.
Next. Hello, next. Next. Okay, that's all my presentation. I hope can benefit for us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Anis, for presenting. The title is Analysis of Family Support and Quality of Health Service. The utilization of VCT poly and compliance of HIV/AIDS patient in undergoing ARV Gambiran Hospital City.